Hey, sixth grade, it is hopefully the beginning of a new week. Again, I'm not really sure when I'm recording these videos. Maybe we had a snow day, who knows. Anyway, just kind of things that are happening in the next couple days. Calculating your interest pixel art, credit cards, and then activity number 9 in Smart Futures, which is also that PBIS Fun Friday. So it's a shortened period. We'll work on that when the time comes. All right. So the last time you were doing interest and what the interest formula was and identifying each of the letters in the interest formula. Today, we're actually going to learn how to calculate the interest because you did not have to do that before. Okay, so as a reminder, what interest is, it is money you earn from a savings account for allowing the bank to lend your money to others. And the interest formula is I equals P times R times T. And a reminder of what those letters are, I stands for interest, which is the amount of money you earn. P stands for principal, which is the amount of money you have deposited or you have invested. R is the rate, which we have as a decimal where we did the whoop whoop. So if we have a 5% interest rate, we move the decimal 2 places to the left and you have 0.05. And then T is time, and we're using years. So interest equals principal times rate times time. Okay, we did this. I'll quickly go over it. When you see a percentage, it means of 100. So if you have 17%, it means 17 of 100. We would put that as a fraction. You would divide the two numbers. You have 0.17, or you can do the whoop whoop and move that decimal 2 places to the left. Now, we have a problem to figure out. If you put $500 in a savings account that paid 1.75% simple interest, how much interest would you earn in 3 years? So I like to identify the parts just like we did before. Do we have the I? No, we don't, because it's saying how much interest. We don't know that. What is the principal? Principal is how much we invest. We're putting $500 in there. What is the rate? The rate is the interest rate, in this case 1.75%. T is the time. It's how many years, I should say, that we're investing this money. In this case, it's 3. We're going to plug in those numbers for the parts of the formula. So I equals 500 times 1.75% times 3 years. So 500 times 1.75, do not forget the percent symbol. Multiplied by 3, should get $26.25. We're correct. Okay, so you're just taking the 3 numbers and you're multiplying those 3 numbers together to get the amount of interest. The next one, if you put $750 in a savings account that paid 5.5% simple interest, how much interest would you earn in 7 years? Pretty high interest rate. Again, we can identify each of the letters. 750 is the principal, 5.5% is the interest rate, and the time is 7 years. Put those into the formula, get out your calculator, and calculate them. You don't really have to get out the calculator. You will eventually. $288.75. Might have taken 7 years to get that, but you know, I'm always going to take some free money. Well, you have to claim it on taxes, but still. All right, so that is simple interest. It said simple interest. It's the easy one. You just take the numbers and calculate. Boom, done. Then we have something called compound interest, which is basically earning money on money. Let me explain. So for me, every month I get paid interest at my bank. And the one I told you was close to $30. How about more like $25? But anyway, so when I get that $25 at the end of the month, it goes straight into my account, and now I have $25 more that is in there for me to earn more interest on the money that they just gave me. I mean, hey, I'll take anything. So this one is very much the same, but it just takes a long time to calculate because you have to do 1 year at a time. So if you put $150 in a savings account that paid 6% interest compounded yearly, how much interest would you earn in 5 years? So I make a little table. Okay, and I have each year, because I have to do the problem, I have to do the interest formula for every single year. The principal, the rate, the time, and then the interest. The rate is always going to be 6%. It is a total of 5 years, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm starting with $150. So I go through the process. I take the 150 times 6%. I mean, I could multiply by 1, but why? It's still going to be 9. So the first year I earned $9 in interest. So for the start of year number 2, I have to take the previous principal number of $150, and I need to add the amount of interest we earned in that first year. So 150 plus 9 is $159. And then I do the whole process again. So, 159 times 6%. $9.54. So I got 54 extra cents from that $9 they gave me. Now, to start the principal for year number 3, I take the $159 and I add the $9.54 to it. So I have $168.54. I'm going to do the process again. Oh dear. I can't use this number. I can't use this number because we're talking about money. When I talk about money, I can only have 2 decimal places. So I know that I have to look at the third number. If the third number is 5 and above, I'm giving this a shove. If it is 4 and below, I'm letting it go. Don't worry about all the other numbers that are after this third one. That doesn't matter. So I'm looking at the third one. It is 4 and below. I'm letting this go. It would be $10.11. Okay. Then I keep going through the process, and I filled out my table. But did I even answer the question yet? I didn't, because the question was how much interest would I earn in 5 years? How do I figure that out? Whoops. Woo. You're going to take all of the numbers on the right, all of the interest numbers, and you're going to add those together. When you add those together, it is $50.73. That's a whole lot of work for one problem. I know. Okay, so how do you know which way you're calculating? Is it just taking the numbers and multiplying them, or would that be more of the table? I'm not going to ask you guys to make a table and do that. I just want you to know about the compound interest and how you can earn money on money. But how would you know, move myself here, which one you should do? You're going to look for the words simple or the word compound. Compound is more complex, takes longer. So, kind of gives you an idea. Boom. Now, we have 2 different accounts. One is simple, one is compound. Is compound always better? No, not necessarily. So for these, both of them you're investing $1,000. This one on the left is simple, compound on the right. It's 3% interest for 3 years. It's 2.85% interest for 3 years. This one earns you $90. This one earns you $87.96. Which one are you investing your money in? Yep, we're going to pick the simple in this case. Why? Because you're getting more interest. Like if we were done, after 3 years, it wasn't, oh, well, maybe I keep going. For this particular situation, which one would I go with? I mean, is it really that big of a difference? $2.04? Not really. However, what if instead of $1,000, you were investing $10,000? Is that going to make more of a difference? Sure is. So I always go for the one that's going to give me more interest. All right, so, oh, sorry, I almost forgot your word of the day. The word of the day today is deposit, which is a sum of money placed or kept in a bank account, usually to gain interest. Not always. Some accounts you have to have a certain amount of money in there to get interest. Yeah. Okay, now, once you have that done, we are going to do your calculating interest, which is 12 questions. And some of these are repeats from the previous lesson, but what is the interest formula? And then you have image 1, you're going to use that to answer some questions. What is the time? What is the rate? What is the principal? And then you're going to actually calculate. So you need to multiply the 3 numbers together. You're going to do the same thing for image 2, but this time, what is the rate? And it says as a decimal, so that means you've had to whoop whoop. So it's not 4.5, I can tell you that. You need to change it to maybe 0.045, just saying. The time, the principal, and then you're going to multiply the 3 numbers to get the answer of the amount of interest. Image 3, you have a compound interest problem. The question is, what's the total amount of interest? It's nowhere on there. You have to calculate that number. And then image 2 and image 3 are similar. $500, 3 years. One is 4.5% simple. One is 4.5% compound. Which one are you going to choose, or which one should you choose? Simple or compound, and why? I can tell you you're picking the one that's going to earn you more interest. All right, I've given you at least 2 answers. And that's it. You're done for the day. Have a fantastic day.